Most people move through life believing that reality is a shared agreement, that what they notice, what they value, and what they ignore must be roughly the same for everyone else. They assume that when they enter a room, the emotional temperature, the unspoken tensions, and the invisible undercurrents are either neutral or irrelevant. Carl Jung discovered something profoundly unsettling about this assumption. He found that a small fraction of people are not merely interpreting the same world differently. They are perceiving an entirely different layer of it. If you are listening to this, chances are you have felt out of place long before you had the language to explain why. You are not necessarily rebellious, loud, or defiant. In fact, you may have tried very hard to adapt. And yet, something never aligned. You were called intense, complicated, too quiet, too deep, too sensitive. And over time, you were subtly trained to believe that this difference was a flaw, that you were miscalibrated for life as it is lived. But what if the diagnosis was wrong? The deepest misunderstanding surrounding the rarest personality type is the assumption that deviation from the norm is dysfunction. Jung argued the opposite. He believed that certain individuals are not designed to maintain the current psychological order, but to detect its cracks. You are not malfunctioning within the system. You are responding accurately to something that is fundamentally misaligned. To understand why this misunderstanding persists, we have to talk about perception. For most people, consciousness functions as a powerful compression algorithm. It reduces reality to what is immediately useful: status, safety, routine, approval. This filtering is necessary. Without it, daily life would become overwhelming. But your mind does not compress in the same way. You register emotional subtext, you sense contradiction. You notice patterns unfolding over time, rather than moments isolated in space. Where others hear words, you hear intention. Where others see stability, you sense stagnation. Where others feel comfortable, you feel something is missing. This is not imagination, it is a different bandwidth of awareness. The first major misunderstanding that arises from this is the accusation of emotional distance. Because you absorb so much information from your surroundings, you require periods of withdrawal to metabolize it. To the outside world, this looks like detachment. People assume you are cold, uninterested, or self-absorbed. In reality, you retreat because you feel too much. You step back, not because you lack empathy, but because your empathy has no off switch. Jung described this as a protective orientation inward, a necessity, not a preference. When you remain too long in environments filled with superficiality or emotional noise, your nervous system becomes overloaded. The exhaustion that follows is not physical, it is existential, and no amount of sleep seems to restore it. That fatigue is a signal. It tells you that your inner architecture runs on a different fuel. Another misunderstanding emerges in relationships, and it is often more painful. Your presence unsettles people, sometimes instantly. You may notice that certain individuals react defensively toward you without clear cause. You did nothing wrong. You said nothing provocative. Yet something in them tightens when you are near. This happens because your awareness functions like a mirror. Many people survive by maintaining a carefully constructed self-image. They identify with their roles, their achievements, their narratives. When they encounter someone who sees beneath those surfaces, without trying to, without judging, it destabilizes them. You remind them of what they are avoiding, so they project. They label you intimidating, arrogant, or negative. In truth, they are encountering parts of themselves they have not integrated. Jung warned that the more unconscious a person is, the more violently they defend their illusions. To such individuals, you are not a person. You are a threat to their internal balance. This leads to one of the most corrosive experiences you know, doubting your own perception. You sense inconsistency. You detect dishonesty. You feel danger where others feel charm. And when you speak or remain silent, you are subtly invalidated. Everyone else seems comfortable with the story being told. You are not. Over time, this can feel like madness. You begin to wonder whether clarity itself is a liability. Modern psychology often compounds this misunderstanding. When it sees your dissatisfaction with surface-level life, it labels it anxiety. When it encounters your longing for meaning, it calls it depression. The goal becomes adjustment, functionality, normalization. But Jung rejected this approach entirely. He believed that suffering in individuals like you is not evidence of illness. It is evidence of growth restrained by unsuitable conditions. You are not broken. You are constrained. Trying to eliminate this tension without understanding it is like silencing a fire alarm because the noise is uncomfortable. Your pain is not random. It is directional. If fully awakened, your awareness becomes inconvenient. You stop chasing symbols of success that feel empty. You stop obeying authority that lacks depth. You become resistant to manipulation, not because you are rebellious, but because you can see through it. And this is precisely why misunderstanding is maintained. A society built on distraction cannot afford too many people who perceive too clearly. At some point, another myth appears, that you are inactive, unproductive, or unambitious. Your work happens internally, connecting ideas, tracing implications, exploring possibilities. From the outside, it looks like nothing. The culture equates motion with value, visibility with worth. Silence is mistaken for stagnation. But for you, silence is where integration occurs. It is where chaos organizes itself. Jung himself withdrew from the world for long periods, engaging in symbolic play and reflection. History later called it genius. His contemporaries might have called it avoidance. This misunderstanding pressures you into constant motion, forcing yourself into shallow productivity to appear acceptable. The result is burnout. Not because you cannot work, but because you are working against your nature. For you, rest is not laziness, it is preparation. Without it, insight evaporates. Then comes the accusation that you are too complex, that you overthink, that you should simplify. But you are not complicating reality. You are refusing to falsify it. You can hold contradictions. You see how opposing truths coexist. This unsettles people who rely on certainty to feel safe. Jung believed that psychological maturity is the capacity to endure tension without collapsing into false clarity. You possess this capacity instinctively. It makes you unsuitable for slogans, but invaluable for synthesis. You are not meant to shout from one side. You are meant to build bridges, and bridges are often walked on before they are respected. This feeds into, a quieter burden, the weight of potential. Others sense your depth and project futures onto you. They expect ease, confidence, momentum. They do not see the paralysis that comes from perceiving too many paths at once. You are not afraid of failure. You are overwhelmed by choice. Every decision feels like the death of countless unlived lives. The way forward is not perfection. It is commitment to imperfection. You must sacrifice the fantasy of the optimal life to live a real one. Movement, even flawed, breaks the spell. In moments of crisis, another misunderstanding appears. While others panic, you become calm. Emotion recedes, clarity sharpens, you act. Later, when the danger passes, the feelings arrive, sometimes long after everyone else has moved on. You carry unprocessed weight quietly. This is not coldness, it is role specialization. Someone has to steer when everything spins. And finally, the most uncomfortable truth, you are misunderstood because you represent what the world avoids. Depth, uncertainty, the unconscious. You are a reminder that life is more than schedules and surfaces. Your presence disrupts the illusion of control. That is not a defect, it is a function. The task is no longer to be understood by everyone. It is to stop translating yourself into languages that cannot hold your meaning. You must become your own sanctuary, where sensitivity is honored, intuition trusted, and solitude respected. This is individuation, the courage to become yourself without consensus. Standing alone does not mean standing forever. It means standing clearly enough for the right others to recognize you. The isolation you experience now is not a sentence. It is a cocoon, And the world, fractured and disoriented as it is, will soon need exactly what you carry. You were not made for the old structures. You were shaped for what comes next. Release the need to explode in yourself. Preserve your depth. The future does not belong to the loudest minds, but to the clearest ones. Trust that. And as always, trust the mystery.